Well, today I want to do a video on uh, kind of the infrastructure behind the magic within the information streams that we get that tell us our surroundings, tell us our origins, that reaffirm our existence on this earth plane and physical reality, and how the global delusion gets sold to us and our children as like bedtime stories, pretty much, and how these accents within the supremacy program are being sold from a very young age. And I'm speaking from a personal example. When I was pretty much raised on like National Geographic, Nova, all the PBS documentaries, and a lot of that stuff, like like the BBC documentaries of human planet life, planet Earth, all this stuff that is pretty much narrated by mostly David Attenborough. Like David Attenborough, this is his IMDb, but if you guys don't know, he's this guy, and he's the guy, he's the voice of, he's also the brother of the other Attenborough, who was the old grandpa in Jurassic Park, the first Jurassic Park. So he was the voice of Jurassic Park. That whole thing, that welcome to, like, it gets you believing, like, and they play that dun 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 dun, like they get this whole storyline so you can believe that this is a great idea. But no, these dinosaurs are gonna get out in this movie. Not to mention, these dinosaurs are full of shit. But on the real, so-called real life scale, David Attenborough, I think it might be his older brother, is the voice of documentaries like Planet Earth. I think he does Life, but pretty much every documentary that you can see that tells you what your planet is like. So, like, here's National History Museum, Africa, Galapagos, Kingdom of Plants, Frozen Planet, First Life, Madagascar, Flying Monsters, Earliest Ancestors. So they tie in Charles Darwin and the Tree of Life, The Natural World, Cold Blood, Life in the Undergrowth, Planet Earth, Are We Changing Planet Earth, Deep Blue, Life of Mammals, Nova, Flying Casanovas, like Blue Planet, which is another big one. I used to really like and watch Blue Planet and Planet Earth, but it's not so much the content that is the issue as much as it is the way it's sold to you, and the intent that is behind these programs. So like the science itself is not destructive, but when you sell only a version of science to control people over time and in their consciousness, then you inherently create a destructive system. Like, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, the fact that chemistry comes from kemet, which is an alchemy. Alchemy comes from Kemet, which is the early name of ancient Egypt, the Cometians, of the Kemetan society, where chemistry and all the sciences and all the language, everything that we use today came out of the ancient Egyptian or Cometian studies. And they studied everything and had it in these schools, so that this version of control that is however many hundreds of years later is being utilized to sell only a version of reality in order to lock people down in this limited state of consciousness, in this dumbed down version of experiencing your reality. And the people who are keeping you in this version of reality are people you trust, like David Attenborough's voice, and I'll play it right now. Like, you can listen. So they got that curve. They be sure to tell you everything. The speakers are kind of low. So you can, I know it's kind of low, but I just wanted to give like how they sell these stories like to you, and that's just the intro, and you get programmed before the show even starts, and then you watch this whole show subconsciously. You're 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 done. Like your mission is complete. You have been globe mind programmed. So the trials of life, a lot of the stuff goes out into the stars, living planet. So he's more of the planet Earth, the older version, like the trees and the animals and all this stuff here, evolution, dinosaurs and stuff like that. And the new versions of these programs are like our movies. And I'll get into the National Geographic too, but we have these actors that we trust. Like, for example, I'll use James Earl Jones and Morgan Freeman as the actors that are used and known, because they stick out to me as far as stuff. And I didn't even know James Earl Jones was in one of the Big Bang episodes, but he was. But this is Morgan Freeman's IMDb, and you can see so how they use his voice to sell agendas. So like Lucy and the transhumanism, transcendence, transhumanism, Yo Gabba Gabba for the kids, Lego movie, this God, he was playing God in there, or yeah, all these, what else? Evan Almighty, he played God again in there. Bruce Almighty played God in there. It's like to get you these voices to that you trust and believe in. He narrates a bunch of stuff too that's not on this list, I don't think. But Another World. Yeah. So this is James Earl Jones. Is obviously he was in like The Lion King. He was Darth Vader's voice, and then Darth Vader turned out to be somebody else, not even him. So he was in the Big Bang, and the very fact that these individuals are in these shows like the Big Bang, like narrating Quantum Quest, the Cassini Space Odyssey, it gives you like the confirmation that everything that they're saying is true. Like you believe this. Like this is it. He was the narrator of in Click and talking about time travel. Like everything that gets sold within these movies, just like in these television shows, is a way for you to lock it in as your reality. And we do this for ourselves. He was a narrator in Judge Dredd. I didn't even realize that. Mufasa, Lion King, Adventures of Superman. He narrates a bunch of stuff too. This was kind of weird too. He was Admiral Greer in Patriot Games, and also Admiral Greer in The Hunt for Red October, which I thought was kind of weird. But these are these stories like nuclear power stuff, and the fact that, or how it's sold as a fact to us, and even in the new Superman, they try to bump up this nuclear warfare program. Field of Dreams. What else is there? Pinocchio. So they play the kids, from the kids all the way up until the older versions of kids, and tell them like new stories of reality. Jesus of Nazareth, like all these stories. Was another one. I think the last one on here was he was Barney Hill, which is, or As the World Turns. He was in there too. But Barney Hill is a alien abduction story, which is like well known as far as one of the main ones. So he was in there playing Barney Hill. Morgan Freeman in Lucy, telling you all the stories of Lucy, now in Ben-Hur, I guess. The new Ben-Hur coming out and telling those stories. Same as David Attenborough's voice. It's the vibration in their voice that gets you believing this stuff and gets you trusting the whole system itself. Gets you trusting the existence of dinosaurs, a globe, Earth, all together. And I'll play some examples of the program.
This is our world. A warm, comfortable, familiar place. But walk away from the fire and look up. Our thoughts soon leave home.
See, it's just like they sell you your
lurking in the vastness of space.
These accents.
So strange that even science fiction could not have imagined them. For the first time ever, scientists are discovering alien worlds beyond.
So you would think, like, after seeing all this stuff, all these CGI, these graphics, you automatically validate NASA. You automatically like bring to life what NASA's talking about. Like, they got all this stuff from NASA supposedly, but in reality, they just made up these images in order to give credibility to NASA and that whole bogus reality or magic show that's going on. And in the Supremacy program locks it in as far as like you're masters of the universe. So they got these Einsteins, and the latest guy is like the Wonders of the Universe, Professor Brian Cox. Like, they give you these these are programs that are being locked into you. They're getting they program you with the intros and the transitions, like even the weather, the news the regular news. When you're watching weather and you can see these transitions, they got the globe model on there, and all through Discovery Channel, it's on the logo in the bottom right corner, just like the eyeball on CBS or whatever it is. So your kids and even your parents or whoever, they think like, what is this? Is they couldn't be lying about this. What is all this? And the all of these shows come from like the BBC and Nova, and you can only get this information from like a British accent, like, and it's like inherently programming you to think and act and feel a certain way. Like, this is one of the new guys.
If you look at the world, then it's incredibly complex and beautiful. It's very difficult to imagine how this could have been assembled out of the raw.
Like, you trust these individuals, like you trust these people because they put these professors, these voices out there that, and you've been primed because, like, for me, like, I've been primed because I've been listening to David Attenborough since I was like, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, sitting like on my mom's lap watching some old National Geographic or whatever, some kind of old channel that was telling me the same stuff that this dude is saying right now for you to believe in, for me to believe in, 30 years later.
Materials that were available with the Big Bang, because we
And
know that when the universe began, 3 minutes after it began, there are only two things in the universe.
there it is. It's like you can't get out. There's no questioning it at all. It is a Big Bang. It's all about science. And the backhand behind it is, it's not at all about, there is no creation. Like, there is no creator. There is no intelligence there. You are just a cosmic mistake that came from dust.
Ingredients. It's made of clouds.
This is how you started. This is what he's saying. Like, oh, listen to this music.
Helium.
It's a magic show.
Now, over time, those clouds collapsed under gravity to form stars, and it's in stars that the heavier elements, the carbon and oxygen.
So all this stuff just combined. It was just dust floating after a Big Bang. It made a sun. It made a planet. It made dinosaurs. It made monkeys. It made you. Like, this is the inherent story there. And then the later chapters are NASA and going to Mars and going to Europa and all these other stuff that I was talking about in the last video. But they have to pound in this story over and over and over again in different versions to get you believing it, so they can sell in whatever kind of ridiculous stories that are coming up next. And they tag team these stuff. Like, he was on Star Talk, which is Neil deGrasse Tyson's. Or that's a TV show, but I'm sure he was also on Star Talk Radio, which is Neil deGrasse Tyson's radio. Human Universe, Stargazing Live, Stargazing Like Back to Earth, Doctor Who, Wonders of Life. So you just believe everything that they put them on the Colbert Report. So these TV shows, these late night shows and these talk show hosts, they do the same thing. They interview these individuals and they tell you, oh, okay, well, they play dumb a lot of the time too. And make everybody else feel dumb because they're dumb, and they play real smart with other people too, and they talk about politics and all this stuff. So they play dumb with these people to make them look more important, and also make this whole storyline get sold even deeper. Wonders of the Solar System, Star of Bethlehem. Like, it gets like they mingle in space, religion, like all the outskirts of all this stuff, science, and into a big stew of jacked up programming, and then you do the rest. Like,
A hellish, fiery wasteland. A molten planet hostile to life. Yet somehow, amazing, this is where we got our start. How did the universe, our planet, how did we...
Look how fake this dude is just a he's not a genuine dude. Like, I can't stand, like, even how he's talking.
Timeline of the Big Bang, timeline of the universe. Now, we know that it began around 13.7 billion years ago, back there, in the Big Bang. And we know that when it began, it was really a formless, unimaginably hot ball of not even matter. In fact, we think that all the forces of nature were merged.
So it's always what they think. It's what they think is your reality. And you pay your $10 billion a year of taxes to NASA, and they put for what they think. But what about what you think and what you feel and all that stuff? Like, they don't go through that. They don't take that into account, because this is not for you. They don't give any shits about you, or that this is a control grid, and the university system. He's a professor. Like the university system, NASA, television shows, everything is in cahoots together to keep you in this magic spell of programming where they tell you who and what you are with these charismatic individuals and their voices, and this whole like streamline of information is just like getting into your head. And to some people, like Neil deGrasse Tyson is like a charismatic talker, and people trust him, and he plays like the super smart dude.
Where did all the stars and galaxies come from? These questions are as ancient as human curiosity itself. And on Origins, a 4-part Nova miniseries, we'll hunt for the answer.
See, and you're too simple-minded. You're too busy. You're just a regular whatever. So you can't answer these questions. They don't answer the questions either. They just make videos talking about the theories.
There are more than 30,000 sled dogs living above the Arctic Circle in Greenland. These hardy and intelligent Greenland dogs are an essential part of life for Inuit hunters and fishermen.
They tell you everything. You think like, oh, they wouldn't lie. Like, they wouldn't do this. What? They're so sweet. Like Destiny in Space and the IMAX. Like now that's how they shifted into gear. They put it in the IMAX theaters, which was like the 90s. I think they came out with to get it more ingrained. So they created this IMAX situation where they made stuff like Destiny in Space and Cosmic Voyage and IMAX Hubble in 2010 that was narrated by Leonardo DiCaprio, and I think Morgan Freeman was the other one. Yeah, this one.
Man explores the universe around him and calls the adventure science.
So all this dramatic, your life is a big drama. It's sold to you as a drama. The science, the planet, it's all sold. And they bring it, they take it from the stars to your beginnings and your endings. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, so I'll leave it there. I just wanted to give some examples of how vast this global illusion and hypnosis game is the tentacles of this program, how vast it is, and show like kind of my perspective on how I see like how it reaches from Hollywood all the way into our Discovery Channel, the stuff that we trust and everything. So I'll leave it there, and thank you for joining me. Until next time, peace, love, and harmony.